team. COVID-19 update real quick, and I'm trying to go fast, but if you guys have any questions, even if I've moved on, just yell at me. COVID-19 update, confirmed cases. Staff, this is between August 8th and current day. Confirmed staff up to this point, 72. Confirmed students, 90. Active cases right now are hovering around 14, and that's inclusive of staff and students. Negative. So let's talk about those that we took precautions on but did not come down with the virus. 113 staff members, and we're unsure of the students because a lot of those aren't reported back to us if they're not positive. Have 2 active cases that we can track with the help of Northeast Regional that originated in our school system. Every other case has been brought into the school system from get-togethers or social events outside, even unfortunately some church activity, and those things can't be stopped. It's not a matter of us pointing the finger at any of those events. It's just a matter of us having to deal with the quarantine and the exclusion of the educational program once those are identified. Quarantine numbers are what's affecting us. So I wanted to bring these numbers to you because our positivity rates are extremely low. Even if you look at the countywide average, out of state average, the national average, we're still doing very, very well. And I'm very thankful for that. But our quarantine numbers are what's killing us as far as being able to operate schools effectively. We've had 213 staff quarantined. We've had 800 plus students. And when it comes to staff, if it's a 1 or 2 teachers per school site situation, we can have those teachers teach remotely from home. But we've got to have an adult supervise that class in the school. And we're at the point at 6 of our schools right now where we don't have staff to supervise or facilitate those classrooms, and therefore we've had to move virtual at those. Right now, just to get you up to speed in the county, number of total cases, 2,088 since last March, and inactive and recovered, 1,829. Active cases presently in our county, 224, and unfortunately, we have seen 35 deaths in the county up to this afternoon. So again, none of those numbers are great. None of those numbers are positive, but I am very, very pleased that we have not been hit harder in the school system, and we've been very fortunate and blessed to be able to operate school the way we have.
When our director gave us his report, he was requesting that we possibly look at remaining virtual on Fridays, maintaining the 4-day week through the month of January. The board, I'll just open the floor for comments from board members, and I'll go first. We meet in January, we meet on the 7th. School resumes on the 4th. Now that was the thought that I had, because I always like to have options and think things through clearly. I would like to see if we couldn't make a wait and see how things go during this month and the holidays, and then come back on the 7th and take action at that time. But I'm open to any, I'm just giving you my thoughts.
I've got a problem. She is, staying now next 3 months. Ever since. As we know, that's basically coming. I would rather give everybody a little bit of peace and assurance that we've got their back as much as possible. Now, and it's fine, whatever we agree on. I know if you brought it up, then there's already concern about this.
I would say that there's no increased level of concern, but we have enough concern there based on the numbers we're seeing and the actions we've had to take in the last couple of weeks, that with the number of staff and students potentially traveling, those numbers and those situations may continue into that first month of school. My recommendation was just to simply allow us the flexibility to continue that program through the month of January, which would give a little bit of a buffer, but that's a simple recommendation. I will follow what the board wants us to do.
Is there any other comments, or it's up to the board?
Matt,
You gotta do the work,
Matt,
Debbie.
Yes, ma'am.
this, if the board chose to go through January on a 4-day school week, would knowing this now be able to assist the teachers in their
Good question.
Ahead of time, especially as we're looking at going on Christmas break?
To answer your question, yes, and that was the thinking behind at least establishing a 30-day schedule ahead of time so that they knew what they were facing coming back from the break.
Mr. Chairman, I'm ready. Recommendation to move 4-day week.
I'll second.
So, Ms. Shedden, your audio cut out. Was your motion to continue the 4-day week
The 5th day.
That
with
is
the 5th-day virtual?
For January.
month of January on a 4-day week with using that 5th day as virtual.
Okay, thank you.
Then we can always revisit it at the February meeting.
I will give an update in January and February, yes.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Now, just to be clear, so I think we are, but for something, I just want to make sure. Miss Jennifer, can you read that back? Okay. Debbie,
Yes.
would you please restate your motion? She's froze.
To remain on a 4-day school week with using Fridays as a virtual day through the month of January, and then revisit that when we see how our numbers
If we're in discussion, can I ask a point of clarification?
Yes.
Get the second. It's Jennifer.
Revisit the data.
Okay.
Just a point of clarification. The last time the board approved this this plan to go 4 days a week with 1-day virtual, you also gave the flexibility of myself and staff based on data to make changes at individual school sites, and that has worked very well. We've been able to make instructional decisions where staffing has been a big concern, where we couldn't staff school sites without affecting system-wide school sites. Is that something that you would consider through the month of January? And it alters the motion. I apologize, but if that's something,
We know that we got to take care of this motion first.
No, you don't.
No, we don't.
No, you don't.
No, somebody can make the amendment, and
Right,
then we
but
take
the
care.
point of it is we're under discussion of the motion that we got on the floor.
Right.
And that's what he said. Since you're under discussion, could I bring that up, which he can.
Yeah.
But we can't vote on it until there's an official motion. But we're in the situation with where we are now. And my question is, even right now, we have several schools that are all virtual, right?
correct.
So we're at a point where, by the middle of January, they may all be virtual. You know, we don't know.
That's just it. We don't
But
know.
the thing about it is the bottom line is if we, that was my thought too, was if we do this, if we hold this to 4 days, based on the motion as it stands right now, all of our schools are going to have to be open 4 days regardless. So with that in mind, Mr. Chairman, I make an amendment to the motion that we allow the director of schools to assess the situation per location based on the ability to staff the classrooms appropriately under the circumstances of the COVID virus and make those adjustments.
And I said,